Hi Tara, nice to meet you. My name is Nuri.
Hi, Nuri.
Tara, thank you for the interview. I would like to make a little question about you, about the school, and about the student Antonio.
Hmm.
Can you tell us what was the incident happened in your life that you would like to share with readers?
So about like what helped me to become a teacher?
Yes.
Yes.
What made you decide to be a teacher?
Well, I think I always really enjoyed school when I was in elementary school. My mom was a high school teacher, so I admired my mom very much for her thing. And when I was in high school, I thought to myself, what do I want to do after high school? And I loved English and I loved learning. So it just seemed right that I wanted to be a teacher. I think I looked up to my mom a lot as a teacher also. And so that's what really helped me to become a teacher was my mom and other teachers who also inspired me.
Okay, perfect. And tell me, what is that one thing all student can do to get the same result as Antonio?
You know, what I think for Antonio and for all students is being committed to their education and being committed to being doing their very best at everything. You know, we don't always like everything that we do in our life, and not all kids are really great at school. But I think that if you put your best effort into everything, like Antonio does, no matter if you like it or not, it makes you a more successful person. I don't look at students like just because they're successful in high school, they'll be good after. Or if they're not doing well in high school, it means they won't be successful after.
Yeah.
But I think the big thing is if you dedicate yourself to doing your very best and continuing to always improve and learn, that's what makes an exceptional student like Antonio.
Yes, I agree with
Yeah.
that. And do you know something about Antonio that you can tell us?
Sure. So I had Antonio as a student last year, and right away I saw that he was like this really, really bright, shining, friendly, outgoing student. And I really appreciated, because we do a lot of work in my class in teams and groups, that he always worked to make sure that his whole team got along and that they were doing their very best. So I think Antonio is a great leader and a great contributor to groups, but he's also a really good listener and he's very fair. So when he sees something that's not right or something's not going the way it should in a group, he's not afraid to speak up and work through the situation to help all the students have a better understanding of, you know, they stop their disagreement and they have a better understanding of how to be a team.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I admire most about Antonio is that he's very friendly and very kind with other students and very open to learning new things.
That's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah,
This
very
time
much.
is important.
Yes.
Okay. Who was the most influential person in your life besides your parents?
Yeah, because of course, you know, my mom and dad
Yes.
were really supportive of me growing up, so I'm very blessed to have them both in my life as great contributors. But I would have to say the person who in my family who inspired me the most, like outside of my parents, who inspired me the most, is my cousin Lori, who I also call my Aunt Lori because she's so much older than me. My cousin Lori was born with a birth defect that made it that they told her she would never be able to walk. Her hips were deformed and her legs were actually folded up. She went through many surgeries as a child to get her legs down. They told her that she would never stand, and she stood. They told her she would never walk, and she walked. They told her she would never walk without assistance, and she walked without assistance. And then they said, well, you'll never have children. She has 3 children. So she's such an inspiration to me because I see that the whole time that she struggled with her own disability, she never looked at it as a disability, and it made her a stronger person. So I really admire her for being strong and persevering in the face of a difficult situation. So she always inspires me because she shows me that no matter what like you've been given in life, that you can always right overcome anything to do what you want. So
Yes, that is wonderful.
yeah.
Really. Oh, Okay, was there a teacher that inspired you in the classroom?
Yes, in my fifth grade teacher was one of my favorites, although I had many teachers who I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
My fifth grade teacher, Miss Slade,
Mm-hmm.
was, I just really enjoyed her interactions with me. She was a very positive and kind and friendly woman. I really loved the way she dressed. She wore these really funky clothes, and she was very outgoing, and she traveled a lot, and she always shared her personal stories with us as a
Oh,
class. Um, I appreciated she continued to have a relationship with me after fifth grade. And she would write me letters and send me postcards from her vacations,
oh,
and
really?
really just shared her life with me. And I always knew that if I had a problem or I needed anything, I could always talk to her. So when I think about myself as a teacher, I think about how Miss Slade was a wonderful friend to me, and went out of her way to encourage me to do my very best in the
Yeah.
classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I look to her as like a role model of how I am in my classroom too.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, great. Okay, how other teacher and your friend react to your accomplishment and how it has challenged you?
Um, yeah, I think because I also do what Antonio does, and I dedicate myself to being the very best at what I do. But it's in an interesting way. It's not like, oh, I have to win at everything. I really feel like my job on this planet is to really help others see their full potential and to really contribute to them. So I find that my friends and my family and other teachers, I think they admire and respect my dedication to students. I challenges. I think sometimes in the past, maybe I've had some criticism from teachers about the relationships I have with students, like, oh, you shouldn't be friends with your students, or, you know. But to me, like, I think being a successful teacher, you have to build a community in your classroom, and to build a community, your students need to know who you are. So I feel that the challenge has been to help other teachers see, and there's many teachers out there that already do this, but help other teachers see that if you build a good community in your classroom and you're honest and you share yourself with your students, that they will care about you and love you because you care about them and love them, even when they're being bad and not great to you. And that creates a place where all students can feel really appreciated and successful. Um, and yeah, that looks like friendship, and for sometimes it is friendship, but really it's just mentorship. It's saying, this is who I am. I want to be real with you, and I would like to see the real you inside of you that's very powerful and has, can contribute to the world.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. This is a question I would like to know, and that people maybe like to know. How do you feel with a hard or difficult student?
Oh, I'm facing that challenge even right now. I have challenging students in all my classes. Some classes are very easy, and the students right away kind of we build a community. But my most difficult students are the ones where I have to really show as much love as possible. I think for other students or other people observing, it looks like disrespect, right? The student can be very disrespectful to me. But I know that if I meet anger with anger,
Yes.
nothing is going to change or
Yes.
shift. So with a student who is difficult with me, that might not enjoy the classroom, that might have a lot of things that they're bringing in from their home life, from other places, I just really try to show love and respect, even when I'm not getting it.
Yes.
So I also try to gently and without anger help them to calm down or cool off, or so it usually is just a process. For some students, it might take the entire year for them to feel that they can really be good in my class. I think the students who act bad have done it as a habit for a while because they get negative attention, and so that's what ends up happening. So I guess that's a long answer to the short answer is really that for every student, I try to see beyond the behavior, and I try to see them as a human being who's dealing with lots of difficult things that are causing a lot of problems and anger in their life. And so I just look at them with love. And if I find myself getting angry or triggered by that child, I just step back and I remind myself that they are having a very hard life, and that's why they're reacting that way, and that I don't have to fight them with anger.
Yes.
That the best thing I can do is just be understanding of their problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me something about you. What do you like to do when you're not a teacher?
Yeah. So teaching to me is like my life. So I wish this for all my kids. I wish that all my kids go out and they find that thing that they do where they get up every day and go, yeah, I get to do this. And even in their hard days, that they're excited about coming to work and do something. So outside of teaching, which I love very much, I love hiking and I spend time with my family. Several of my friends have small children that are like my little nieces and nephews, so I have like play dates after school sometimes with them, and I practice yoga and meditation daily, and I love to travel. So this is great. I always share with my students. I go all over the globe. I love going to different countries because it helps me have a better perspective of all the things we have here, and it just makes me feel more connected to the world.
Okay.
So that's
Perfect.
what I do.
Okay, thank you, Tara. I don't know if you want to say something about local community heroes.
Well, I just really appreciate you coming out and spotlighting Antonio. I think that it's really important for our students to feel that what they're doing in school really matters in the community. So I really want to appreciate all of you for coming and highlighting him today.
Okay,
So
thank you.
thank you.